All right, we're going live.
We're live already? All right.
I think we're live in a second. And I'm
Let me-
going to just tag some people so they can join us. All right, we're live.
Live in effect, huh?
Live in effect. Live with
Right.
LJ Negron, the man himself,
The myth, the legend.
the legend behind the agency. What? Remind me the name of your agency?
Swift Media Marketing Group.
Swift Media Marketing Group. Get that in your noggin. So I'm actually just going to take a second and tag some people who wanted to be down with this live. If you're watching this live, go ahead and hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, you can hashtag replay. Let me just pop in here and do some tagging. So LJ, what's up, man?
Everything's great. Feels fantastic. I'm still on this high wave of life right now.
So for the people that are joining us, LJ and his wife Tracy attended our recent internal leverage mastermind, our first one of its kind. And he's the graduating. He's the in the what is it? The one of the first graduating class. Right?
There you go.
First graduating class.
There you go. I like that.
So I wanted to bring him on, and I mean, I don't even have time to tag people. I'm just gonna.
They'll get in the next replay or something.
So, I mean, here's the thing, LJ. So you're a digital marketer and you're growing your business, and you and I connected briefly at Tribe of Buyers, but then afterwards we spoke, and, you know, it just seemed like the right fit for you to come to the mastermind. So I'd love for you to tell us about your experience, just knowing that this was the right thing for you. And I think what's like one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on is just because I just immediately was attracted to your energy, your heart, you know, just how just clear you are in what it is that you want to do, and that you're doing this for yourself and your family. And I just knew I wanted to support you. I just knew I wanted to have you at this retreat. And I mean, like, the man that walked out of that experience was different than the man that walked in. So I'd love, just speak on it. Just speak on it. I'd love for you to just talk about your experience.
Stop me if I go too much, or
you go for it, man. Mike is all yours.
All right. Well, yeah, like you said, mentioned the connection that we had right away was that was the reason, and it was easier to kind of connect, to actually make it to the meeting, because the way you articulated the way the breath work is, you made it very easy to understand. So then when you did some of the 15-minute programs or 30 minutes for the breath work, that kind of helped.
For you to just talk about your experience.
Stop me if I go too much, or
you go.
If I go,
Mike is all yours.
All right.
Hold on.
Well,
okay.
We good?
Yeah, sorry. I just.
No worries.
Go for it.
All right. So the breath work prior to, with some of the small ones that we did, allowed me to tap into just maybe one layer of what it is to kind of deep dive into, your soul, your person as a human being.
Right.
And that was probably just the beginning, because once I've experienced that with you, and then you told me about the mastermind program you're going to have, it was instant. Because if what we did together for 15, 30 minutes could break through in just that short amount of time, I wanted to be all in. I wanted to make sure, does this really work? Was it just me having a good day that day? So
you're talking about doing the breath work at Tribe of Buyers.
At Tribe of Buyers, and also when you had it for on the public, one of the groups also.
Oh, right.
Right. So that was
wait, you mean like the online session?
Yes.
Okay.
The one we did was a couple people on there too.
Right. Okay.
So coming into this event, not knowing what's going to happen, being around also other entrepreneurs and business owners and people that are not in business.
Right.
Being around people you don't know, and then simmering down, listening to you speak as far as how you articulate how you're supposed to do things, and then actually laying down and doing the breath work, you start getting into who you really are as a person. You may think you know who you are as a person, but once you start tapping into different layers with that breath work, you start to really gain knowledge on, whoa, this is me. This is okay, all right. And then you start really hearing the sounds as far as your words and what you're saying. And then there does come a point where you think, okay, I'm good. Maybe I shouldn't go any further. But as you're coaching, right, and your wife is there, and you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you really start to tap into different layers of your soul, your inner human being that you've never realized before. And that was a breakthrough, because you may be the most confident person in the world. You may be able to sell or do whatever it is you do in your life in general as a parent. But there's things in there that can actually help you propel in life, that once you tap into, you, when you acknowledge it, you have to first become vulnerable, which is what you taught us. So once it became vulnerable, and that was just kind of coming out, a lot of emotions kind of went through. And that's where obviously you realize that, because you put me on display for certain things to kind of make sure that everybody knew that I was out of that element. But that experience was amazing. It's really difficult to put into words.
What's the just general feeling that you felt coming out of the weekend? Both actually going into it, like what were you feeling just with business and personal life and everything, versus coming out of it? What were you experiencing?
I was experiencing, I was nervous, to be honest, just going in, just not knowing what's happening, what's going to happen. Did have a little anxiety. This is probably natural. The expectation, I really didn't know what to expect. I was maybe expecting, okay, I'm gonna launch myself into the business because he's gonna give me these great tips on how to scale and maybe how to tweak my business and this and that. Had nothing to do with business, right? Because once you're in the program, or once you're in the moment, in the room with also these other incredible people, it's business is also, it starts with you. You're the foundation as a person. So if whether your business is scaling or stagnant, it doesn't matter. You still need to hone in on yourself to know exactly how you can go forward, not just in business, but also in life. So to answer that second part of the question, coming out of that, it was just, my mind was blown, because my approach on just the way that I think has changed, not just in business, but also my personal life, being as a parent, in business, in marriage, because now you're able to, it's easy to get back into a routine, right? With your life, things that you've done before. So now, as I try to get back into my routine, I start noticing that, oh, wait, why are you doing that? That's a lazy effort. Okay, you change it up. You should actually be doing more at this hour, not just one particular task that you could do. So now you start tapping into what you felt, or what I felt in that room, to know this is who you are. Like, how do you get forward? What is it that you need to do to get to the next level by being conscious of your actions? So on the business aspect, there's the way that I see it. Sometimes when I may be talking to a very highly successful corporation or business, I want to try to display myself as that I earn 7 figures, right? Because I want to be ahead of that conversation. But there might be people who actually make $30,000 a year or $50,000 a year in their business. And they also, sometimes that business or that person tries to make themselves be a little bit higher than where they are in income, right? So at least it's comfortable. At least that's where I was at. But realistically, that person or that client or potential client on the other line sees who you really are. So being transparent, which is a lot of what you talked about, was the very, very first thing that I did as soon as I got those calls. It was almost immediately on the way home. It was insane, because I didn't reach out to these people. These people reached out to me.
So let's give some context. So you left this event, and within 48 hours, you closed 3 new clients.
Correct. It was a total of 9 calls, well, 9 potential clients with 3 closes.
And did those, were they in your pipeline and your awareness before going into the weekend?
No, they were not in the pipeline. There was 2 of them that were in the pipeline, but those weren't part of the closes. There was a total of 8 or 9 that were potentials, but it was a matter of maybe following up in the next couple of weeks, with those guys.
So what happened what was different on Monday after the weekend that created that result?
The mindset. It was the mindset. And then honestly was the breath work, because that's the first thing I did when I got home. I did the breath work. It was for about 5 minutes, right? The moment that I woke up in the morning, I did the same thing. I actually did it 3 times that day because I couldn't get enough. I wanted to get that feeling back, right? And it's difficult because you're that good, but it was difficult to tap into like that, into that abyss. But I was able to get a couple layers in. So I was able to be calm. I was clear-headed. And the conversation between me and that client just went great.
So that's amazing. So using the breath work, using the internal leverage, using some of the success strategies that we taught. And you didn't even, here's the thing, you didn't even stick around for the whole thing.
Man,
parenting,
I had to get those kids. I had to pick up those kids. I know.
No shame in the game. I get it. But we did get into, so the Sunday after you left, we did start getting into some business strategies. We talked about sales. We talked about mindset for sales. We talked about relationships. We talked about a bit more the masculine feminine, some of the internal success strategies. But regardless, it doesn't matter because you got enough. Your cup was filled enough that on Monday, you started using some of those internal techniques, the internal chi, in order to create a difference in your business. And that's what it's all about.
Right, without looking at the notes. To me, that's what I haven't even looked into this book yet, Abe. Okay, I haven't even these are all the nuggets are out from the weekend. I didn't even look at that yet. So that's why it feels good just to know that I could actually do it on my own, honestly, just based on what I learned. That was the most epic part.
Well, that's what it comes down to is about empowering you to not be reliant on having to be in the room, right?
Yes,
because it's what happens off the mat. It's what happens outside of the dojo. Right. You got to carry that around with you. You can't be reliant on one place or to be around one group of people in order to feel good and get the results that you want to get, because that's not going to happen in your life. You got to be able to take it with you as you leave.
Indeed. Agreed. Yeah, that's the important part. That's what I was scared of, honestly. Or
how so?
Just because, just from being in business, or whether you're not in business and you have a mentor, you read books, or you like what people say, and you write those notes down, right? People want to follow good routines in their life, at least they should. So you may write notes down, things that you may look back and say, okay, I want to do that. Okay, great. But there was so much that you were giving, so much that we felt. I'm thinking, I didn't even write enough notes. How do I go back? It's like studying, right? You want to articulate and remember everything that you're doing. So that being in the room and then having that feeling, you can't write enough down to feel it. So I was hoping I could find a way to feel that again. If I get back into a negative mindset, or, I'm down for a day, how do I get back? How do I tap back into that to, hey, you're good. Let's go. Let's make the next move. So it didn't leave, right? So I was like, it's got to be the breath work. So let me continue that. So that's what I think it is, because once I get in it, I'm good.
Beautiful. I love that. And how was your wife's experience?
She got a rude awakening. A rude awakening in life. She has been on a mission. I've seen her. She doesn't know that I see her, but just her thought process has changed dramatically. And that's good for me, right? It's good for us. It changes things in a better way. Also, just working together. Obviously, it'll be different if she wasn't there, if the partner wasn't there, because you could only explain it so much, to the other person. But if we had a small incident when we got back, literally that night, and I'm thinking, I know what's trying to come in. I know that negative energy is trying to come in from somewhere, and it wasn't her. We just had a beautiful weekend, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just a little disagreement that we had. Let's breathe for a second. I'm good. And it 4 minutes, we're good, right? So it's things are not going to be perfect, but just to go back to knowing what the feeling was that day, it just goes a long way.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that makes total sense, because a lot of the fights, I'm married, as you know, and a lot of the conflicts that arise between us arise just because of the state or the mood that we're in.
Right.
And when we develop that awareness and we become more conscious of it and we can catch ourselves, we say, oh, okay, hold on a second. And we can do some sort of technique to change our state, change our posture, go for a run, go for a walk, whatever, and come back. And actually it wasn't a big deal, right? What's the problem?
Right. Awareness. Right. There you go. As you said that, I was trying to find that, and that's what it is, the awareness. I was saying conscious, but
Right. Okay. Developing that self-awareness, as Sam Ovens says. Jimmy's joining. What's up, Jimmy? So Jimmy turned me on to, well, he's one of the guys that turned me on to Sam Ovens mindset training, and it's
Ooh,
all the same stuff,
wow.
right?
Okay.
It's all about developing that internal awareness of your own habits and patterns and
Right.
thoughts, so that you can develop more choicefulness or more agency. And if you're an agency owner, this is how you own your agency.
Hey, see, you said better than I did. You should have went first, Dave.
Yeah, but it sounds so much better coming from you. So if somebody is considering to join us for our next mastermind, which is coming up in 2020 in March, right? The next internal leverage mastermind, business and breathwork mastermind is coming up in March. And somebody's considering it or just curious about it, like, what would you tell that person?
Just stop. Don't even finish. Just don't think twice about coming to this event. All right. People may not know me, but this event will literally change your life, your business. People may think, oh, it's just too dramatic. Okay, well, if it's too dramatic, try it. You know, be yourself. You gotta be vulnerable first. If you gotta really want a change somewhere in your life, and if you're looking for just that small, this is going to take you there, whether you believe it or not. You just gotta taste it first.
Yeah. And what about for people who are looking for the next strategy and the next tip and the next thing? Like, what would you tell people like that who are coming to an event like this expecting, you know, to just write down stuff and then go home and then just implement?
You're going to find it. I don't want to elaborate on that because you can't. You will find it. If you don't find it, send me a DM, call me, tell me you didn't find it after the meeting. All right.
Find what? Find
what you need in life to get you to the next level, whether it's in business, work, life, marriage, personal goals, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Touches on every single thing. Just like I said, I just thought it was going to be something to get me to the next level on business. And it did not. So that's why I'm still overwhelmed with you and your wife. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. I don't want to get off of it. I want to stay on that train, man.
What's next? I mean, where do you see? So now that you've gone through this powerful experience, you've had this sort of awakening, you've been empowered with these tools, and it's already, you're seeing the results happening in your business, you're getting clients. Like, where do you see this train moving for you?
Coaching. Just let me, I was talking to Jasmine today or yesterday.
Nice.
So where my agency is at now, and just by what I'm posting or just who I am as a person, I'm not a coach yet, right? Mind you, but there are other agencies that are sending me messages, asking me questions on certain things just based on what they've seen or what they heard. And that was not happening before at all. So the plateau as far as where I want to go, that's that next level. And I just got a taste without even being ready for it. All right. I'm content, but not content, if that makes sense.
Wow, you always gotta be hungry for more, right? For the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you want to share with folks about your experience, about anything?
I wanted to ask you, Abe.
Yeah.
Based on that experience with the people there in that group, that fantastic group, and the vulnerability you've seen, as a man and as a woman, I mean, I didn't get to ask you this question, you know, or just chop it up with you then, but what was that feeling like? Because there was a photo that I seen that I think your wife posted, and it had you on the little stepping part by the fireplace, and everybody's laying down. Seeing that, I'm thinking, wow, how amazing could that have been, you watching this, you know, as everybody's in their moment or in their element?
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of people doing breath work as I've facilitated it quite a bit, but it's not the same as feeling it. Right? Feeling it from within. I had an experience yesterday where I was speaking to another participant who was there over the weekend, and there was just a moment where, like, there was just a feeling, like just an open, raw, vulnerable, powerful. And it was just a moment where we transitioned from force to power. And it's one of the things that we talk about over the weekend is that as entrepreneurs, we like hustle and it's like this force, and we, you know, just end up burning out because, you know, it's like constant effort versus tapping into your power, which is like surfing. You know, when you finally get up on the surfboard and you let the wave carry you, and all you got to do is enjoy it, right? Because it's a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Right.
And I was talking about how over my lifetime, I've had a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles. Building my business has been one of the most, I guess, grueling or challenging, I would say, challenging processes that I've gone through in my life. And if all it does is it empowers me and gives me the ability to coach others, to provide transformational experiences for others, empower others the way you've experienced this past weekend, then all of that has been worth it.
Wow.
And so when I'm in the room with you guys and you guys are breathing and having your powerful breakthroughs, and I feel it, like not just like, come on, you can do it, but I'm just like forcing it, but from a power standpoint, I feel it. That's the best feeling in the world.
Well, you did that part good. I don't think every part of what you did was not, it was effortless. There wasn't no force that came in, which is also what your wife said. You know, that part helps. Like, don't force the issue. Don't expect something to come. Just allow it to come. You know, allow it to flow. And that was perfect.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I want to say, which is what you would just ask me if there's anything else that I want to say, is everybody that was in the room, every single person had something going. They had something that they needed to address. So everybody became vulnerable. Yep. So I would say this to the people or the public is, people that you come in contact with, they have a vulnerability state in some way. They may not display it, but just know, whether it's a business owner or a client or a person that's just a regular person, everybody wants to win. They want the same thing you do. It's just a matter of making that connection with that person. So don't prejudge, just get in your own element. Don't force the issue, allow things to come. Find that chi moment.
Find that lion's roar.
There you go. I got it.
Awesome. Yeah, cool, brother. Well, it was really a pleasure having you. And so I just want to say and just make an announcement here publicly in this self-optimization for entrepreneurs group that the next mastermind is going to be in March. I believe the dates are the 6th through the 8th. And we're doing a Black Friday special where the tickets are 50% off.
When does that go? When does that start? This Friday?
That is starting actually today. So anybody who's watching this live and is feeling super freaking inspired and wants to experience what LJ experienced, wants to be in the room and have this life-changing experience, just comment Breathwork down below and we'll shoot you over the link where you can go and register and get your ticket 50% off. And we'll see you in March.
See you there, buddy.
Cool. LJ, thank you so much for taking some time and just sharing your love with us and your transformation and inspiration. I think I love just talking to you, and talking to you in front of other people is just like super easy and natural because you just have like your heart just shines through. And that's really for me, that's what I observe as your superpower.
Yeah, superpower. Got it. I like that. All right. I appreciate you. Appreciate you both. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. All right, brother.
All right,
thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, man.
All right. Peace.